As promised, we're back for part 2 of the King of the Table 5 pre-match analysis, where we look at the available match footage between two athletes and try to figure out who's going to come out on top. This time we're looking at Irakli and Lachlan. As always, if you're having trouble keeping up with the online arm wrestling world, head over to armwrestlingforums.com and sign up for the free weekly newsletter. I compile interesting links throughout the week and ship them out every Monday. Just put your email in right there and hit join and you're good to go. Or if you're looking to buy the pay-per-view link for this Saturday, which I would recommend, head to the events tab and you can find it right there. Alright, let's get into the analysis here. I figured a good place to start would be how both athletes performed against Todd Hutchings, because we have good and recent data on both of them. So here we have Irakli versus Todd Hutchings from East vs. West 3 in May of 2022. Then we also have, courtesy of Chance Shaw, we have Lachlan versus Todd Hutchings, and this was in January 2022. And just want to show the first round from these matches. I also think the first round is really the most important one to analyze, because the further into the super match you go, the more the variables start adding up, and the less clean the data will be. And we're fortunate that both of them are in a strap. So let's get started here with Irakli. So we're in the strap, first round, fresh for fresh. Irakli's game face is just on a whole nother level. But let's look at the start here. Right off the rip, let's see if we can get a better pause there. There we go. Irakli takes Todd Hutchings' hand with very little problem. Significantly, there's a lot of wrist extension there on the part of Todd Hutchings. Although Todd's able to keep his pronation pretty well, he's not totally turned under Irakli here, but by all measures, his hand is gone. And Irakli, despite being extremely strong with that brachialis, can't quite move Todd off center, and then Todd says, alright, enough of that, surges, classic side pressure style, and gets the pin. Let's watch that one more time, because it wasn't a clean to the pad. He does kind of grind it out there for a little bit, so Irakli does have some power there. Alright, so what are the takeaways here? First, obviously, Irakli's hand is too much for Todd Hutchings. And a lot of people think that's a given against Todd Hutchings, but that's really not the case. Talk to people who train with Todd a lot, and they'll tell you Todd's hand is actually really strong. It's just he pulls such high caliber pullers that he has a tendency to lose it. But by all means, Irakli's top roll is ridiculous. And the question that begs is, have we ever seen Lachlan contain somebody who has a top roll at the same level as Irakli? And I think the answer to that is no, we haven't. Lachlan's kind of trapped in that Australian bubble, and as far as I know, the best top roller down there is Ryan Bowen, who's not even a pure top roller. You do have people like Jordan Davis, but I think Ryan outclasses Jordan now. So I think it's fair to say that we're going to see Lachlan lose his hand. If Irakli can crack Todd, I think he's going to crack Lachlan, and we're going to have to see Lachlan pull or flop press or side pressure like Todd, which I don't think we have much evidence that he can do that. But we have some more footage to analyze here. So let's go into Lachlan versus Todd Hutchings. Again, this is from January 2022. Shout out to Chance Shaw. And we have a ref's grip. Right off the rip, a little bit of a hook there, but Lachlan gets turned under pretty bad. And Todd Hutchings is able to grind out a pin there in a similar fashion to how he grinded it out against Irakli. Now, one thing to note here is it was a similar struggle for Todd to get the pin, but against Lachlan, Todd also kept his wrist. So from that, we can infer that Lachlan is able to have a little more inside power, at least on the defensive end of things, than Irakli does. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna matter too much, because I'm almost certain that Lachlan's going to be losing his hand. And once that happens, the dynamics can completely change. Some people still can offer a similar level of power without their hand, but they are few and far between, and I don't think we have the evidence of that for Mr. Adair here. So, real quick, both these videos, links will be in the description. Make sure you support them. Watch the whole matches. They're great matches. Just going to show the first round here. All right, moving on, I have some lifts here I want to compare. Actually, first, later on in this match, we did see a press attempt from Lachlan. Granted, this is much later in the match. Both athletes are fatigued, but we do see Lachlan go in for a press, which Todd has no trouble dealing with whatsoever. Really sends it there. It doesn't matter. So the reason I want to show that is because I think we're going to have to see Lachlan try to do a flop press. And so that's at least some data on how good his press is. And I mean, it certainly isn't his go-to move, and certainly wasn't too much for Hutchings there. Man, I'm killing it on the pauses today. What a screenshot right there. All right, so yeah, things aren't looking good for Lachlan right now. I think he's going to lose his hand, and I don't think he has the press to follow it up. But let's look at some lifts I found. Here we have Irakli doing a brachialis lift on a preacher bench with 54 kilograms. And he's repping it out for a set of 5 with, I mean, relative ease. Maybe an 8 out of 10 intensity, which is really right around where you want to be when you're doing working sets like this. Yeah, so pretty solid, pretty smooth. Clearly has a lot more in the tank if he needs it. And then we have Lachlan Adair going for 60 kilograms on not exactly the same lift, but again, we're working with what we got here. But similar grip, similar handle. Grinds it out, and this was a 1 rep max challenge, so he does just go for that 1 rep, but it gets really sloppy as they start putting on more weight. This was really the last clean rep he did. So, and this is from January 2021, whereas Irakli's was March 3rd, 2022. So I'm sure Lachlan's got a bit stronger from here. But from this, honestly, in terms of that brachialis strength, that bicep strength, and that radial deviation is when your wrist goes up like this, and then ulnar deviation is the opposite. But yeah, I think Irakli might even have him beat here, which again does not bode well for Lachlan in this match. So from this lift, I give the advantage, really making a jump here, but I'd give it to Irakli if they were to do a 1 rep max challenge. On the hand, I think got to give it to Irakli. I think Lachlan's hand is going to go bye-bye pretty much right out the gate, similar to what happened to Todd Hutchings. And then that's going to leave Lachlan not many options other than a flop press or just raw side power. And I don't think he has either of those at a level where Irakli's going to go down, given that he's repping out 54 kilogram preacher hammer curls here. So yeah, last bit I want to show here. This is where things get dicey with YouTube. I never want to take views away from other people, and so kind of begs the question, like, what is the ethical way to watch important footage? And this is important footage for the community, while still giving credit and helping out the person who actually got this footage, in this case Aussie arm wrestler who's in Dubai right now. I think it becomes less of an issue as the videos get older, because you're not interfering with, you know, that initial view surge you get when you release a new video. But I think the best thing to do is, first and foremost, obviously, link is in the description. Go support Aussie Arm Wrestler. It's awesome that he's there. He's going to be commentating and pumping out all kinds of good footage. And 2, I'm not going to show the whole thing. In fact, I only want to show enough to where you want to go see the whole thing, and you should. It's gold footage. But there's one part of this that I think is worth watching, at least for our analysis here. Honestly, the whole thing is, again, but one part that I will watch here. This is context. This is left-handed on what looks like, I don't know, a hotel lobby. They're just messing around before the event, and we can see Lachlan really kind of shoots in, loses his hand, gets toppled pretty quick, just like we talked about, and then starts calling for the strap. Now, strap does typically help people who lose their hand, but I mean, the ease at which Irakli took his hand there, I don't know that a strap is going to close that kind of a gap. So yeah, ominous signs for Lachlan here. I'd love to see a good match. You know, I think he's the underdog, so I'm rooting for him to give us a good show. But I mean, I got to go with Irakli 6-0 here. Just based on everything we just looked at, he's got to be the guy. So to sum it up, we have in the Khalid versus Schoolboy match, I have Schoolboy sweeping that. I have then Bowen probably sweeping that following up, but there's almost no point in even talking about that because it all depends on how Schoolboy does against Khalid. And then I have Irakli going 6-0 here, or 4-0. When I say 6-0 or a sweep, I'm really just talking about the rounds that matter until one athlete secures the victory. Because after that, people do all kinds of weird things. They'll starting a hook or whatever, just try to test themselves. So it's possible that Irakli secures the victory 4-0 and then says, hey, let's just bang in a hook, and loses the next 2 rounds. So it will be at 1.4-0 Irakli is my prediction here. Same with Schoolboy and Bowen. They'll get to that 4-0 mark, and then who knows? Who cares, really? So there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed that analysis. If you disagree or agree, let me know. If I missed anything super important, please share it. And yeah, if you like these, please subscribe for more, and I'll keep them coming. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.